Shrink the wheel. Easy now. Yeah, I think you're gonna be feeling that in the corners, or accelerating. I wouldn't worry too much about accelerating. No? Oh no. Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure. This is a game called Gear City. It's a game that's been in development for a heck of a long time, and I picked it up 6 years ago, at least 6 years ago. And at the time I thought, oh yeah, but I kept going bankrupt. So it's now approaching its final release, and I thought I'd give it another go. First order of the day, relatively straightforward, is pick a starting city. Now, the game doesn't look like much. Yeah, I can. That's fine, because that's not why we're here. We're here because this is the evolution of a game called Detroit, which I would have played in the 1990s, which is about running your own car company. And let me tell you, it's wonderful. It's a superb job, especially if you can be bothered to name things for yourself rather than taking the auto-generated stuff. We're going to start in the US, and conspicuous in its absence is Detroit. I had a poke around it, and oh no, he clicks on it immediately. Okay, all right, fine, be that way. You know what? In honour of Detroit, we're going to start in Detroit. Super. Right, so I need my name, and that's relatively straightforward. We are playing as Steve Mastodon. All capitals, obviously he had that changed by Depol. Need a company name. We are Big Talk. It helps if you spell things right. There you go. Big Talk. That's the name of the company. It's got double meaning. Yeah? Yeah, no, I'll let that sit with you for a minute. I need a logo that says Big Talk. Bunny Rabbit's tempting, but I think no is probably the way to go. There we go. There's a sign saying no, but that doesn't say big or talk. All right, okay, hang on. That does though. Yeah, flipping does. Right, there we go. Steve Mastodon is the name of me, and Big Talk is the name of the company. I'm going to allow up to 300 AI companies to form, which will either work well or it won't. We'll see. Okay, so we're here in the office of Big Talk. To start off with, I've got 750 grand in the bank. Nice. No cash flow. Yeah, okay. And there's all kinds of other gubbins that I will be pressing over time. However, to get us rolling, the first thing I'm going to need to do is design a car. Because of course I am. The bad news, however, is that designing a car takes a heck of a long time. In your design settings here, you can go to design the chassis, engine and gearbox, and then once you've got those pieces of material kind of hooked up, you can then design a vehicle. Now, early doors, each one of these is going to take about 8 months to develop, and you're going to be losing cash hand over fist throughout that entire period. It will then take you a further 8 months to develop the vehicle, by which time your cash will have, will have run out. I gave this a try earlier on, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm going to outsource the... do I want to do the tutorial? Nah, I'll be okay. So we've got the 9 horsepower Model E Z1. And that's $32 in royalties, total cost of 400 quid, power rating of 23. That seems quite reasonable. Actually, it's quite inexpensive as well, and its power rating's good. All of these other power ratings are bobbins. Anyway, so yeah, there we go. We'll take the EZ1, and that's good. Yeah, it's going to cost me 32 quid a unit in order to do that. This is going to be the, I think we call this the Pirate, what are you, 9 horsepower, was it? Surely it's more than that. No, I think it was 9 horsepower Model EZ1. In this case, we'll call it the Pirate E-Z1. There we are. Super. Yep, done. I agree to your terms. Thank you very much. Right, okay, so that's got me an engine. Now I'm going to need to do the same again with a gearbox. And I was fairly certain that this was going to lend me all the information I needed. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. All right, okay, I need a gearbox. We've got the 3-speed Guilford. Yeah. And it's cheap. True. The total cost is relatively inexpensive. Can we sort by stuff up here? No, you have to select it by the drop down. The one thing I would say about the game is UI design is not the program. It's a one-man team, right? So it's not the programmer's highest level of skill. Where it really works, though, is in the fact that it's a full game and it really works. Hopefully, it does well enough that a sequel can be made, and he splashes out on maybe some graphics dudes. But you've not seen the good stuff yet. We're just on the basics right now. Give me power rating. The Model T 1Q71237. Sounds like my cup of tea. Power rating of 35. Sorted. Yeah, I'll take it. This is the Wintringham. No, it's not. No. This is the Pirates Model T. I'm using Pirate every time to know that it's one that I've nicked. You see, that's my plan. That's the scheme we're working on. We've got the negotiations there. We now need a chassis as well, and one not made by me. And I quite like the looks of the old L2 FR, but the royalty at $80 is actually quite expensive. Now, it is the highest quality engine, chassis, that we've got going on here. So I'm going to go with second in the list, which is half price, which is the U1 FR, obviously. So this is going to be the Pirate U1. You would, you have. Right. Good. As you can see, lots of stars going on here. I'm loving the work. We'll take it. Thank you very much. And now we can finally get a vehicle designed. So you have the choice of going advanced or assisted. For this playthrough, I'm going to go assisted for the most part, because why wouldn't you? So we've got the Pirate U1 has automatically been selected with my only engine, the EZ1, and my only version of gearbox, which is the Model T. We now need to design how complex it's going to be, and the design style, and you can tweak quite a lot from there, but obviously not until we've got it going. So we're going to customize our body style, and we'll go with the Type 96 or the Reno. I think people want a roof. Look at that. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay, now here comes the fun bit. With the body designer, we can change the height of the vehicle. Oh, look at that, lots of headroom. Or this one, bit more zesty. And then we'll flatten out the roof some, like it. And then with the height, we can crank it down. You see, go proper mobster with it. Yeah, I mean, it's almost as though I'm creating hot rod culture from day one, because I am. Right, okay, and then we'll put a little bit more sidestep in there. We can change the frame depth. Yeah. The windows, we can make them smaller. Nice. You really want to reduce the visibility you've got going on there. Now you can tweak the front and rear individually. Oh, look at it. Look at that. Oh, it's just brilliant. You can make it look completely stupid if that's what suits you. And let's face it, it may well suit me on occasion. How tall? Yeah, actually, I do want it a bit taller. What about grill depth? No. We'll keep that. We'll keep that vented. What about the fenders? Wider fenders? No, not at the front, but I think at the rear it would really behoove some flared wheel arch type action going on there. All right, yeah, no, I'm with it. That'll do. All right, next, moving on, tyres and the body parts. First off, we need wheel mounts. Now, I think I've got click placement going on. So this is where the wheels are going to be situated. Now, call me a bluff old traditionalist if you will, but I'm going to stick these on the ends of the axles, like that. Yeah, I mean you've got more toys that you can play with here in order to make this work, but I rather like that. We will have a go back to these front ones. Will we though? I don't know if we can. And then we'll there we go. I want to bring them in a bit. There you are. Super. Do I lower them down a smidge as well? Oh, I might, but I have a feeling that's now no longer kind of centrally biased, which is not ideal. I want to bring these in a little bit as well. Come on, there you go. Right, done. Okay, so that's the axles. We can now put door handles on. Nice, yeah. They're auto mirrored, obviously. See, so for convenience sake, I think we might possibly want those a little lower down. Let's drag those. Do you want suicide doors or not? No. Well, let's go not this first time. Let's keep some semblance of control over ourselves. Exhausts, obviously. Right now, I mucked around with this earlier on, and I had trouble putting the exhaust in a place that I found to be respectable. Although, yeah, don't beep at me and you've done that wrong. That looks about right. What do you think? It's kind of, it's draping out the rear. But I mean, you're not limited to there, obviously. I mean, I can have it anywhere I like, really. The exhaust out the back, like that one. I could mirror it and have twin exhausts going whichever way I like. But I mean, it feels like that's the only thing that should be done if you're going for like flamethrower effect or something along those lines. So I'll leave that exactly where it is. That will be splendid. Does this make a difference? I hear you ask. No, not really. Hold on. There is a button there labelled ratings. No, that's the overall car. Oh, in which case, who cares? No, what we're doing is we're making this our own. And this is where the game comes into its own. Because as well as being a very competent, car business sim kind of a notion, that's not quite... I mean, it's weird, but it's not threatening. No. If I could make it more... what about curve? Oh, that's pleasing. What about rounding? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's lovely. It's going to get in the way of my wheels, though. I've got a plan for my wheels, so maybe I need to bring this in a little bit. Like so. There you are. That's super. Right, less fat, please. Right down to about there. Just enough to clip a 6-year-old and flip them up over the bonnet and then over the roof and then bouncing off the back. That'll be super. That's what we need. All right, that's my front bumpers. Grills want it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it's a very, very good business management game. But it also the key, in my opinion, to a business management game is the ability to put your own stamp on things and designing cars that are a little bit out there. Is my personal method of doing so. Reduce the width? No, I think we want to keep it the width of our schnoz here, and that'll look great. It is still a rather overlarge radiator for the use that we need out of it. Well, you can just sink it a bit. There you go. Just stick it about there. Yeah, all right, that'll do. Next, right. That's grills. No, done grills. Headlights. Yes, baby. Now, over time, because I'm stuck with this, that's all wrong in myriad ways. Can I strap it somewhere compelling? Yeah, that's pretty compelling. Yeah, it is. Over time, obviously, more bits and pieces come your way in terms of different parts that you can do. You know what I need? What? More headlights. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Yeah. See, look, now we're ready. They'll know we're coming. That's for sure. Right, yeah, no, pleased with that. And, hood ornaments. Sure. We'll take this flying effigy here. And I want it on the roof. Like that. Okay, yeah, and bigger. Really? Yeah, well, you see, when the 6-year-old is catapulted, because he'll be blinded, right, pinged into the bumper, he'll do that. He'll be halfway through doing a full flip at this point. But then he has one last chance to survive if he can grab onto the roof stylings. He'll be fine. And we'll get quite an exciting ride as well. If he doesn't, however, well, that's his own lookout. Right, gaps and jams. You go, what's this all about? You go, it's really quite straightforward. This allows you to put a line on the vehicle to show that there's a seam there. Now, personally, I don't need to go into this level of detail. But you know what? That's really good. Because obviously, if you're talking about the overall styling of the vehicle that you're making it look like you've got seams in there for doors and what have you, I think that's kind of cool. And because obviously we've got mirror turned off, mirror it. We've got mirror turned on, there you go. It's drawn a line both sides. There's a bunch of different lines you can play with there, and they're all very tasteful. But that will be sufficient for me. I'm just giving you a quick look at all of this business. When I design further vehicles, I won't go into anywhere near as much detail, but I thought I'd give you the tour first time around. No. It doesn't need big ears. I mean, we're going to anthropomorphize this bad boy enough as it is. The one thing I've noticed that it doesn't have, unless I'm very much mistaken, is it doesn't have the ability to rotate about its axis. It always faces in a sensible-ish direction. Do you reckon you're going to see those mirrors out of these tiny little windows? Well, all right, we'll put them here then. Well, that's back to big ears again. Then, you know what? This is looking kind of mousy. It is looking kind of mousy. Okay, all right. Well, I think we've got a name that may be suggesting itself before too long. Well, we'll see what we feel like when it comes time to name it. Moulding, you can put all kinds of, wibbly spoilerages and behaviour on that. I can't be bothered with that. I think it looks fine pure. Slap our rear bumper on. We'll stick it up there. Yeah, you want it at the right height so that people can hang on the back. Shrink it a little bit, and I want it less wide. There you go. Yeah. I don't understand, though, why width and reduce width are two separate sliders. Why would you not just do one slider labelled width with a 0 point in the middle? But hey, that's just me. It works. Also, I mean, you could put your bike on the back. You might be able to get a suitcase or two on there. Improvise. It's your car at the end of the day, and therefore, why wouldn't you? Right, some tail lights. I don't think we need to go for all the tail lights. I think we only need one, because it's very unlikely this car's going to do a lot of stopping anyway. I mean, we'll signal our intent, but one big fat tail light out the back that isn't actually that big or fat, I think it looks really good. Or you could make it so that it kind of mirrors the exhaust pipe, see, for extra balancing. Oh, you've clearly thought this through. You're wasted not working in the car business. Right, vents next. Oh, yeah, no, I skipped over tyres. I'm going to do them last. Wang some vents on the side. That's the wrong way, I'd say. How about, you can shrink it. Can I just make it go the other way? I mean, I can probably make it go the other way by sticking it on the other side of the car. Let's try that. There you go. Grab some vent, slap it on the car. There you go. Oh, aggression. Yeah, well, for a car that's going to be capable of about 14 miles per hour, yeah, I mean, that's well aggressive. I love it. Even though, I mean, it's clipping through the body, but I don't care. I think it looks better that way. And then windshield wipers, or I should say wiper. Yeah, come here. Yeah, you sit about here. Or maybe the other side. Yeah, I know. It's an Australian game. What does that mean? Nothing at all, actually. In fact, stick it in the middle. It's going to need to be really short. I think this has got a central driver's position as well, given the size of the window. So if we shrink that down, yeah, that looks authentic. Not that anybody's ever going to see it again. And then we're into tyres. Now, we've only got these wagon wheels to kick off with, but that's okay. There you go. Wagon wheel on the front. Beautiful. Increase the tyre width a little. Nice. The sidewall height, keep that to the minimum. Yeah. And rim width, I want that slightly smaller. No, that's width. You want rim height, I guess. You think? Yeah. Or you could do something zany with the offset. Oh, this is already looking absolutely tremendous. Right, yeah. Shrink the wheel. No, don't shrink the wheel. It's shrinky-dinked enough already. Hub length, no. I want to increase or decrease the height. I want to make the wheels a bit smaller. Oh, no, that will be shrinking then, won't it? Oh, yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, take them down just a bit more. There you are. Right. Enlarge the hub. Yeah, baby. Oh, smashing. That's terrific. I need more. I need more where this came from. Right, stick these bad boys on the back. Yes, bruv. And increase the width. No, that's decrease. Increase the width. Yep. They're going to need to be a bit smaller as well to get them inside the fenders. That's okay. This is fine. I think you might have made a tractor. It's okay, though. This is... super. Right, I know. Not this time, but I can feel that a monster truck may be in our future. This rubber is unsupported. Yeah, I know that's just not realistic, is it? No, compared to the realism of everything else that you're doing with this. Yeah, all right, okay, hang on, give me, yeah, just a little bit more like that. Okay, does that look better? I think better is pretty subjective in this case, but yeah, sure, why not? Right, slap those on there. And then I just need to get it inside the rims. Shrink the wheel. Easy now. Yeah, I think you're gonna be feeling that in the corners, or accelerating. I wouldn't worry too much about accelerating. No? Oh no. Okay, right, good. Anyway, we're done with that. Now let's do some paint. Yes. What colour is this going to be? It's going to be a very hold on. What did we say? It was a mouse. Well, it's sort of brown then, isn't it? Okay. All right, bit of brown. That's not a very mousy brown. No, you need something sort of like that. There you are. Yeah, that's looking the part. Obviously, the rims, we're going to do them sort of a very dark gunmetal, because they have to be. Same deal with the brass as well. Yeah, does the brass not want it? No, you've now done the whole car that colour. All right, turn it back this gun. See? Yeah. Oh, I love it. Sorry, what are you doing? Metals. Right. Make the metals this colour, please. Yeah, and that. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Is that metal? No, that's something else. Is it plastic? Hard to say for sure. No, I mean, my roof ornament is not that colour either. All right, okay. Well, look, we'll just take what we've got and make that. I love it. Do I want one? No, it's dreadful. Glass, tint it. Thank you. All right, everything's tinted. That's peachy. Leather, plastics, and fabrics. I don't think I've got any of them on display. I think I've faffed enough with it. I think I've got it. I think we're there. All right, let's name this vehicle accordingly. This is BT01, big torque, obviously, and then we need to give it a name. Now it's suggesting I call it the Java. Yeah, I suppose you could call it the Java, but we're not going to call it the Java. No, bruv, no, definitely not. This is going to be the Sorchio. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to spell that slightly different. Wait. The Scorchio. Oh, yes. Scorchio. Scorchio quad. Right? Yeah. Scorchio is Italian for mouse. See, and we're taking our design lead from the Italians for reasons. Right. So we've got good. Decent luxury, safeties, yeah. Dependability is not bad, quality's okay, fuel's good, yeah. Performance is mediocre, power's awful, handling is great. It'll be them big fat tyres, bizarrely. And the trim level. Now, I don't know yet. So you can now monkey about with the sliders to affect the other ratings that you've got here. Now, the important thing is getting the vehicle out. And therefore, I need to keep my design time to 8 months rather than 9, if at all possible. Also, it just lends itself to a version to, we can get down to 7 months. Yeah, let's do it. First to market wins the game. 5 months. I mean, it makes the card completely awful. You know, all right, well, what can you get out of 7 months then? About there. Wait for it. There. Okay, not a good car, but it handles well. Probably because it doesn't go very well. So this being a cheap and cheerful, the trim level. Now you see, the problem with trim level is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 characters is all you're allowed, which is a shame because I'd love this trim level to be known as proletarian, because that would feel sensible to me. But I guess we can't. So we're going to have to call it something else. The prol. That's a little bit dismissive. Basic? No, not basic. I've gone with deluxe. Yeah, the basic edition is called deluxe, and that's good. So it's going to cost 1,259 quid's worth of materials to make one of them, and the project cost is going to be $530,000. I've got $750,000, and it's going to take me 7 months to get it done. Kids, get it done. It's a coupe as well. Is it? Okay, well, all right, fair play. Right, that's now in operation. Now, other stuff that we've got going on in the R&D department is research teams. So you can assign cash money, quite a lot of cash money at that, to the different research team sections, and they will come up with new parts that you can then monkey with. Not going to do that because I don't have the cash. So we're going to probably fall behind a little bit when it comes to new parts and R&D and all of that kind of caper. But I'm largely comfortable with that. Now, this is a turn-based game. So when you're done, you click the, I'm done with this. And you can simulate as many months as you want. So I could hop straight to the car being ready to go. But I'll show you 1 month first. That's a small detail, that one, is if you're on a very fast computer, the information screen that loads up during the turn end doesn't really hang around that long. So here we go. I made 21 quid, and that was purely from interest on my bank balance. I would have to say I'm not making my interest rate is very bad. But I've spent 75 grand on R&D. Basically, I've just burned 100k on this month. Yeah. Fortunately, I can do 7 months at 100k a month. This will tell us a whole lot more later on. It's not going to tell us a whole lot of anything right now, so we'll skip it, and then we'll zip forward by another 3 months. We'll do 2 lots of 3 months. You see, there you go. 3 months done. Yeah, okay, right. So I'm down to 411 grand in the bank. We did 80 grand in costs this month. We made 13 quid because obviously we've got less cash in the bank now, so we're making less interest. Factory's costing me 1,800 a month. My branches are costing me, we'll get into all this in a minute. Branches are costing me 1,500 quid a month. It's okay. I could have shut them down, but I'd rather keep the labour unions, on board. In the house, friendly, all that business. Right, and we should now be good to go. So I'm down to my last 170 grand. Yeah, who'd run a car company? Well, me. And I've got memos. Here are the memos in question, because obviously I haven't checked them along the way. So we've got new contract requests. I can't do anything with those at the moment. You can take on contracts to fulfill stuff, well, in this case, for the Memphis Taxi Service, San Francisco Police Force, Auckland Shipyard in Florida. Lots of stuff. There's my sales report from 1900. Bizarrely, I hadn't sold any. New component design details things that are now available on the common market and whether or not we can play with them or not. New vehicle body is available. Solid. And Burnt All, Motorcar and Derpier. Derp, yeah? Or is it Derpier? I'm going to call them Derpier. Have opened offices in Detroit. Classic. I can also use E85 fuel, which I think is diesel, but I might be wrong, and probably am. Either way, don't really care. The Argentinian Navy wants some business. I don't make anything yet, so, give it some time. CC Columbus have opened a setting in Detroit as well. You know what I should have done? What? Customise all the company names. Well, details. Meanwhile, the big talk Scorchio Scorchio Quad Deluxe is now finished. Sweet. So now we put it into production. Okay, here we go. So what shows up on the map here, would you mind scrolling? Fine, thank you. Is you can see in green the places in which, well, green or yellow. Green is your home base. Yellow is where you've got sales offices. At least I think it's that way. It might be that green is where you've got factories and so forth. Anyway, I start out with a factory here in Detroit, and we're going to get that to work. Do I want the tutorial? Nah, I'll be all right. I give tutorials, friends. I don't read them. So first off, we're going to go to production, and it will show the model that we've got in operation. There's loads of filters and stuff down here. There's the big Scorchio Quad Deluxe. Yeah, it's a coupe. I've no idea if there's any demand for a coupe. I would imagine there probably is. Possibly should have gone for something else, but whoever. I've got 5 production lines available. Crank them all on, baby. And that's going to produce me 5 cars if I keep the production speed at quality, which we won't be doing. We're going to go straight for quantity. Now, the likelihood we sell all 94 cars in this first month, pretty slim. But if you build up a stockpile, you can just flog it later. See? Huh? Yeah? Right, so that's got them in production. So we'll knock out 94 copies of the car this month. And then we can go to the branch office Do I want a tutorial? Nah, I'm good, mate. And I've got six members of staff here at the moment. Can I? Oh, I've already tweaked it this year. I like to make these offices a little bit more efficient, but I can do that later. So the Big Talk Scorchio Quad Deluxe. It's suggesting a sales price of $17.06. I think we can go to $17.99 here. There you go. Set the sales price means we're now going to flog it. We're up against the CC Olympus Enchantress, yes, which has a rating of 32, yes, and is cheaper. I see. Or the Michigan Motors Possibility, yeah, which is a whole grand cheaper and is a better car. Is it though? Is it really? Yes, it is really. Or the Derpia, the Thalasser, which is 2.5 Gs, which is cheaper and it's a better car. Or the Burnt All Clove, which is cheaper and a better car. No, I'm confident, you see, because where I'm about to tip a whole bunch of money is into marketing. Do I want to do the tutorial? Nah, I'm good. I'm all right. Newspapers, crank it. Give me 200 quid a month in newspaper expenditure. On billboards, I want them to be able to, not be able to move their face without seeing a billboard. So I'm going to, max it. And then magazines, we'll do another 200 in magazine ads, and that will probably do it for now, unless I fancy sponsoring a local sporting event. The problem with that is that sponsoring sporting events is really jolly expensive, so we won't do that. That should be sufficient to get us rolling. Back to the office, please. I don't know if the reviews are out yet. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, no, there we go. The big Talk Scorchio Deluxe, Quad Deluxe, beg your pardon. How does it feel? I'd like to read this page, please. Vehicle reviews. Yeah, show me this page, because it's clip. Just I'm. Can we second? What does second window do? Not a massive amount, I'll be honest. Okay, well look, I want to read. There we go. Got a review. Right. How does it feel to drive the Big Talk Scorchio Quad Deluxe, the latest coupe from Big Talk? Well, that's why you're reading this article, isn't it? Yeah. Last month we tested the 8567. Cracking name. And it was great. And this month, and the month before with that, we did everyone else, which was horrible. This leads us to this month's review of the Big Talk. Yeah. Is it fast? No. But is that important? Maybe. For a coupe, the Scorchio Quad Deluxe is well below average. Good. There are many other vehicles in this class that can move better and faster on the track. We don't care, it's not a track car, it's a coupe. Top speed of 31 miles per hour. Get in. This baby can tow 87 kilos, which is astounding. This leaves us with one conclusion. Big Talk should probably have used a bigger, better engine for this vehicle. I didn't make the engine, I don't really care. But as it is, it will do. It will do. That's better what I was hoping. While testing the Big Talk Scorchio Quad Deluxe's handling on the track, we found this coupe drives like a brick. Many times we were confronted with a corner that the vehicle just couldn't handle. At speed, this vehicle may be deadly. Yes, it will be. Do expect significant repairs over the lifetime. Yeah. Big Talk designed this vehicle for when you drive it off the lot, not for many years down the road. True. Whether or not Big Talk is an energy company conspiracy or not is up for debate. The Quad Deluxe, awful fuel mileage of 10.6 miles per gallon. Get in. Right. And, right, okay, conclusion. Ultimately, the Scorchio Quad Deluxe is one of the worst vehicles I've ever driven. Yeah, but he's only driven like 3, so it would be. Big Talk should be ashamed of making such crap. Interesting choice of words from a professional journalist. Only a pure idiot would buy such junk. I think that's open to interpretation. There are much better coupes on the market to choose from. Hell, walking beats this rubbish, even if it is a cross-continental trip. So he's on the fence then. Right, yeah, okay, no real conclusions reached there. Let's get to the next month and see how we do. Okay, right, so total revenue, £4. I've not had that happen before. Yeah. Meanwhile, I just spent 140 grand on, obviously, making a few cars. I made 94 as predicted and sold 0. I've not had that before. This is the worst car I've made. I ran through 2 separate tests before recording because I knew it was very risky to get started in this game. And I'll be honest with you, it's yeah. All right, how are you going to get out of this then? And I'm now paying 1,500 quid to store the 94 cars that I've made. Okay then. Join me next time, won't you, where I will figure out how the heck to unpick this mess. It's probably going to involve slashing the price, reducing my marketing costs. Yeah, stop producing them. Oh, no. I've been Colonel Failure. If you like this, subscribe. If you keep watching, there'll be more just like it. Thanks for watching. Cheerio. So today's outro is sponsored by Clayton, and it's a really tricky one. I'll be honest with you. I'll read it back to you first. Here's a challenge for you: a 30,000-foot overview as follows. This is from C2K on YouTube and Fail Brigade. He's from the UK, and in 2020 went deaf at the age of 42. With hearing aids and other gadgets, he can still hear, so he still gets to make out my dulcet tones. I wouldn't want to guess whether I'm easy or not to lip read, because I've got so many kind of verbal tics going on. Going deaf has cost him his career that he'd been in for 18 years. So he's wondering, what the hell do I do now? He's worked in a highly specialised and non-transferable sector. I'll now transition to first person from his part. I won't lie, it has at times, and still is, quite mentally challenging time. But after 10 months of being clueless, losing all hope repeatedly, and finding no help, anywhere, I came up with an idea to start my own business. The government, no help. The Department of Work and Pensions, no help. Banks, not a chance. Start putting as much aside from the dole as I can to build up a few hundred to get me started as we enter 2022. Hope and determination it will work out to pay me in a few months. I wanted to share my bad times to show others watching your shows that they aren't alone, and tell them that even if they can't see it now, and it's taken him well over a year, that there is a corner they'll turn and things will get better. If an idiot like me can find a way, then so can they. Paying for one of these was one of my turning the corner goals. So despite not making anything yet, I wanted to do this at the same time I started my journey and give something back to you, who's been such a welcome distraction and made me, and I'm certain many others, smile when I really needed it. That's an incredibly generous thing to say. Thank you very much. Now, if you could take all of that depressing gubbins to put a positive spin and message on things in your own way, well, this will be one you've more than earned. Perfectly fine if you use my real name and so on. I do also understand if you feel the subject matter is just can't be turned into a viewer acceptable format, but I sincerely hope you can make it a message of joy and reassurance for others who might be struggling like I have. Oh, I see. Difficulty level hard. Right. Can I turn this into a positive? No. This is a tough one to make positive, because you work your life towards becoming proficient in something, and you develop the skill set that goes along with it, and all being well, your career kind of blossoms in that direction to the point where you feel secure in what you're doing. To have that snatched from you by denying something that is by denying something that is fundamental to the job that you're doing is wretched. And first and foremost, you feeling the despair, I don't think there's anybody in the room that wouldn't go, yeah, that's reasonable. That's a perfectly reasonable response to just kind of go, oh, what now? How do I rebuild from here? And if you believe in a greater power in some fashion at all, you would kind of go like, there's a purpose to it. and you kind of go like, well, it's a bit of a sick purpose. I mean, how is it that someone's decided to go like, I'm going to give you this mission? And you kind of go, well, that's a rubbish mission. I might skip this one. Is there a walkthrough somewhere that I can go and do? No, you wouldn't choose this to happen to yourself, obviously, but you wouldn't choose it to happen to anybody, really, is to have that level of certainty and surety just snatched away out of nowhere, leaving you to try and rebuild something when arguably, are you going to go in as a trainee? Unlikely. The one thing you do have, though, that cannot be taken from you is experience. And there are many ways that you can make experience work for you. All of these kind of, the sponsored outro, Uncle Failure's advice column segments, it's all just coming from advice. Now, I read something not so long ago about why are your parents always telling you what to do? And more often than not, or it might be even have been about advice in general. And it tends to come from, I made a mistake doing something and I want to try and help you avoid that mistake. And as you get older, the one thing you really do have going for you is a build-up of experiences where you can kind of go, I could have played that better, I could have done that differently, this could have gone a slightly different way. And even though that experience is not necessarily giving you here's how to avoid going deaf, incidentally, unless your career previously was testing out speakers for Marshall, and what you had to do was put your ear right next to it and crank the volume all the way up. In which case, I'd say that this unfortunate turn of events was perhaps inevitable. I suspect that's not the case, but your first recommendation to people might be earplugs. They ain't cool, but you know what? Being deaf is less cool than that. I jest because I can, and because I'm clueless in this regard. But even so, you have built up the experience. You are capable of passing on the knowledge and experience that you have. And therefore, through experience comes wisdom. And the level of wisdom that you get largely comes down to how you then interpret those learnings that you've got into, if I were to write this down on a fortune cookie, what would I say? And the real goal there is just to not make it a platitude, not to make it if you wait, it'll be okay. Because that doesn't help anybody in the moment. And the main thing, I wanted to do a separate, an entirely standalone video on this, but I just thought, like, you're not a vlogger. Not yet. You might do a vlog thing at some point, but right now, these outros that you're doing, that's not a bad bit of vlog action you've got going on there. I think if anything, maybe there's an opportunity. I'll segue back in a moment. There's an opportunity where if I've got to grind in a game for a bit in order to be ready to record the next video, maybe I do half the screen doing that, half the screen doing a vlog thing. I don't know. I digress, and I come back again, and I was going to start talking about nuts. Purpose. That's what I was going to start talking about. I saw it with my dad. And now my dad, he's still alive-ish. No, he's good. He's a very funny dude, my dad, but you have to catch him in the right mood to get him funny. He worked for years and years and years and years doing jobs that he just couldn't stand. He couldn't stand working them. He hated every moment of it. And I always felt, observing this, that he must have something really big that he wants to do out of once he retires. Anyway, retired 15 years ago, I guess. He retired 15 years ago and has been miserable ever since, because his sense of purpose was gone. All of a sudden, he was entirely the master of his own destiny in figuring out what he wanted to do with his day, every day. But there's a very good meme I've seen, and it's a definition of being an adult, is deciding what's for tea forever. Until if you've reached that stage, you'll go, yeah, deciding what we're going to eat. Oh, man. forevermore. It's one of the most hellish things you're ever going to go through. There'll be periods, certainly, where you kind of go, we want this, then this, then this, then this. Oh, it's going to be great. But then there's other periods where you just kind of go, oh, I don't know. What do you want? Please say anything. We'll eat anything. I don't care. What do you want? But having a sense of purpose is vital. And having a job gives you that sense of purpose. You have a reason to get up and get dressed and go out and you do the thing. And the reason you're doing the thing is to make the money, to pay for the roof and the stuff and all of this kind of business, right? That gives you a sense of purpose, even if it is not one you would have chosen for yourself. When that sense of purpose is removed, all you have is yourself from which to generate a reason to be. And that's very difficult. I am incredibly fortunate in that I have around 20 different senses of purpose going on, and I can always point the finger at, if I didn't have to go and do that, I could fulfill one of these many senses of purpose. That's nonsense, of course. When I'm given extended time to myself, frequently I procrastinate. I'll watch movies. I'll do a bit of housework. I like housework. And I won't get around to any of these magnificent sense of purposes, because sometimes it's just a tough nut to crack to begin with, to go like, where's my point of ingress? Where's the start of this? In my own personal case, there's also a sense of, I'm not going to finish it. Sure, I might start and I might explore some ideas in there, but I won't finish it. Finishing is really not my strong point. My strong point is starting things. I'm an absolute maestro. 0 to 75%, I'm your man. 75% to 100%, I'm not your man. Not at all. I need to find people whose job it is to kind of go like, I see, what you've got here is a really good idea with some strong foundations. We'll take it from here and take it over the line for you. And I go, great, I might still chip in a couple of bits and pieces. And they'll go, whatever, doesn't matter, we can take it from here. But 0 to 75%, whole mama. Herself remarked a couple of years ago, actually, that this YouTube caper that I'm doing was remarkable because it's one of the few things that I've actually seen all the way through. I haven't finished the mission. The mission is still ongoing. The mission, incidentally, make about £1 billion, something like that. Yeah, whatever. Get all the subscribers. And yeah, so I'm still working on that one, obviously. But my enthusiasm for it hasn't dried up, which is an interesting one. Because usually my enthusiasm dries up when it starts to get hard. And this last couple of years has been hard. Because I've achieved a lot, but I haven't got to the point where you kind of... But I've plateaued. I've hit a point where growth has cut off. And you kind of go, how do you see a way through that? And I've pontificated about that at length. But that's all sense of purpose. I've got a purpose. How do I now get out of this, get off this plateau that I'm on? Have I actually reached my maximum? Don't know. But if it's only a problem if you run out of ideas. And that's where our man Clay here finds himself at this point, is for 18 months, 2 years since receiving this diagnosis and this complete kick in the plums when it comes to things you thought were certain and no longer are. He's turned a corner. He's got an idea. He's working on it. He's got something now, and that sense of purpose has been restored, and therefore that's the win. The win. He's got a business idea. Does it work? Does it not work? It doesn't matter. There is a purpose now behind getting up in the morning and getting going with it, and frequently, if you pursue something with vigour and intelligence and a sense of drive behind it, then the journey itself to whatever outcome that might lead to was worth it. Because again, it's building up that experience. It's building up it's building up something you can then do over and over again. Herself also works in the games industry, and we've had a conversation about success before. And you see indie developers once in a while come along and will have a one-hit, instant smash hit. It's like the first thing they made is a smash hit. And you kind of go, well, they've learned nothing. because you learn nothing from success at all. Success, as often as not, is a fluke. It's a series of flukes that line up. Where I've got to in my career in the games industry is right place, right time, took the right role, took the wrong role. This happened, that happened, this happened, that. It's the sequence of events. It's the butterfly effect that leads to where you are, that gets you to the position you're in, and it's happenstance that takes you there. And you kind of go, yeah, okay, so I mean that's happening to all of us. And the point is that if I at the age of 21 achieved my wildest dreams and someone parachuted me in all the money I would ever need in my life to achieve absolutely everything, I'd be no use as a person. I'd be cocksure as anything, and I already have that problem going on. But I wouldn't have the associated wisdom of didn't quite get it right, had to work hard, had a complete change of plans, getting laid off. I got laid off by Activision. I worked for an Activision studio for 3 years, something like that, and they went through a reorganisation, and I was the only member of the studio who was based in Europe. The studio itself was based in the US. I knew it would come. I knew this was going to happen, and so I bore them no ill will whatsoever when they reshuffled and they went, let's get rid of the European guy. I mean, we've got to change up the way that we organise this studio. He's just not helping where we're going to go. It's not to say that I wasn't helpful while I was there. I'll leave them to tell you that. But let's get shot. I knew it was coming, and in fact, I knew for like 6 months that it was going to happen. Activision looked after me. I got a very generous severance package. And I walked out the door going, I've got the next however many months covered. I can do what I like. For 2 months, I had no purpose, and it was horrible. And I freely admit to having a booze-driven, teary evening where I thought they let me go. I wasn't good enough to be indispensable. They slung me out the door. You kind of go, well, it wasn't a reflection on you, it was a reflection on the studio. I knew all of that. But at the same time, all of that kind of being let go at that time, and I'd have been 40. Being let go at that time, you kind of go, I'm 40. I'm supposed to be at the success stage of my career now, and I've just been kicked out the door. First time it had happened, I'd seen wave after wave of redundancies made in various different companies in the games industry, and I'd always been deemed too useful to chuck out the door. I think also I was possibly too cheap in the early days, certainly. But I'd reached the point where I was actually quite expensive, and it was an easy decision for them to make, and I still bear them no ill will for that because it was a very sensible decision to make. But it didn't stop me from taking it personally. It didn't stop me from seeing it as a reflection on my own capabilities, on my own worth. And it was a massive ego knock. Now, the way I work on kind of an emotional level is I will keep stuff, classic bloke, I will keep stuff bottled up and segmented and just at arm's length and on the surface. But it's brewing there all the time, and there will come a catalyst moment where all of a sudden, like a jack in a box, it pops out, and I have a terrible evening, and then that acts as a moment of catharsis where I can kind of exorcise those ghosts, pull myself back together again, and go, right, I've got that back under control. It's back in its box, and the box is now not as big as it was before. This is all solidly good. Anyway, out of that, I went, well, look, I'm not stuck for money, so what do you want to do? And I reached out to a few people I'd worked with before, and I go, do you need a consultant? Do you need someone me-shaped to come and give you a hand on stuff? And they'd go, well, actually, if you could come and give us a hand on this, that'd be great. It's only a couple of days' work. And I go, all right. And I became a consultant. At the same time, I had this brainwave of, you know what? When I got into the games industry, I was a webmaster. And one of the things that I worked with, or one of the groups that I worked with earlier on, was a whole bunch of different fan sites. This is back in the day where fans of a particular game would go and build a website dedicated to that game where they'd do stuff. And then you had clans and all this kind of stuff as well. And so looking after them was part of my job. And I'd built loads of fan sites before getting into the industry. Arguably, that was one of the things that actually got me into the industry in the first place. So I understood the mindset. And being afforded the opportunity where no one could tell me not to, because up to that point, you couldn't have a YouTube channel if you worked for a games company. No. Too much conflict of interest. And I went, well, no one can tell me not to. So I'm going to go and learn what YouTubers have had to do in order to make their way in the world. Because that way, when I'm back into a games company at some point, I'll be able to use that experience to help them out more than we have done before. And it was only ever supposed to be like an academic exercise, but 6 months later, I'd got the bug, and here I am 7.5 years later, and I've still got the bug. Where am I going with this? I've spoken about myself a lot in something that's supposed to be about somebody else, but the thing is that it's all related. It's because it's about having an internal sense of, this is why I am, right? Who I am, you kind of build a clear picture of who you are, and it's always reshaped. When Neo goes into the Matrix for the first time, right, and they take him into the White Room, and it's just him and Morpheus, and he kind of goes, oh, I still look like me. Morpheus says this is residual self-image. And this is a very true thing, is that everybody has an inbuilt sense of self, and I generalise, okay? Not everybody sees things exactly the same way. But generally speaking, you have an inbuilt sense of self, a kind of a superego that dictates, this is who I am, this is who I perceive myself to be. And in your teens and your early 20s, it's that shape changes a lot. And then it starts to solidify from your 30s onwards. I'm speaking from my own experiences. Your mileage may vary. It starts to solidify, and by the time you reach your 40s, you've actually got a relatively clear picture of who it is you are, a level of certainty about what am I, who am I, and why am I. And it's that sense of purpose that tells you, what are you for? What do you do? What are you? And to have that shaken is a major blow to confidence. Me getting laid off was a major blow to my confidence, but at the same time, I could still pick myself up, shut up, and get back to work. If that was withdrawn from me, and I got to thinking actually, what would be the thing that would stop me being able to be why I am? I'd say your ability to talk. And I thought, yeah, that would suck. And I kind of go, but I write pretty well. And if I were no longer able to fill my time with talking, then yeah, I could probably make a decent fist of it doing some writing. So it's maybe it's not comparable, but I would say that my prime weapon is everything that I've got rattling going on here, and then the ability to communicate that in a way that people can relate to. I don't know if you're relating to any of this. I assume you are. Otherwise, you'd have stopped watching, surely, unless you just like the hand gestures. What's my conclusion then? I think I've made it, and I think I'm just re-dancing around it in multiple different ways. It's the why today, and there is always a why for why am I doing this? Why am I here first thing in the morning? And that's the thing that should drive you. That's the thing that will drive you. Why are you going to work in a crappy job? I got bills to pay. Why aren't you getting a better job? That's a different question. Why am I working? Why am I getting up now? Why am I going to this job? I got bills to pay. Defining a greater sense of purpose will make this an easier experience. And where Clayton's been struggling justifiably is everything that had gone into that sense of purpose was stripped away, and all of a sudden he's had to come up with a new one. Fantastic topic for discussion. I am well and truly out of my depth on it. I don't know if this was useful or not. The other thing that I do is by talking a lot about stuff, I actually work things out for myself while verbalizing them. I disagree with myself doing videos, right? You sure you want to do that? No, I probably don't want to do that. That's just internal dialogue made external. Now, when I do these stuff to the camera things, I'll only occasionally go, sure. I go, maybe I'm not sure. Hold on, yeah. It's the same thing, but by and large, I talk and kind of figure out what I'm talking about while I'm verbalizing it. Yeah. What's the point of this? What's the point of any of it? What's the point of any of us? And that's a self-definition kind of thing. Finding a sense of purpose is all important. Finding a sense of purpose makes you happy. Going back to my dad, pandemic kicked off, and my dad decided to write a book. And the first one wasn't a great book. He self-published it. The first one wasn't great. It's fiction, a fictional book. His writing style was great. The story was all over the place. The second one, better. The third one, better still. He wrote all three in about 14 months. Self-published all of them. And my mum was telling me, it's like living with someone. He'll come downstairs and he'll be making himself some lunch, like a sandwich or something. And he'll just kind of go like, I've got to get back upstairs. And she'll go, why? He kind of goes, I want to know what happens next. And he's writing it. And he kind of go, that's purpose right there. Is for a man who spent his working career largely unhappy with it, who spent 10 years of of retirement, largely dissatisfied, all of a sudden found purpose and it excited him. That's my manifesto. Clayton, brilliant question. I wish you all the luck in the world. If you've got something that I can help with, you're a Fire Brigade member, hit me up. You know, maybe I can, I don't know, am I any use to you? I don't know if I am. They are. Get on with it, get back to work, get it done. You've got a purpose now, just go and see if it works out. Thanks again. Cheerio.